Hello, teacher. I talk about for World War II by Ivan Cueva of Thorpe. What is World War II? World War II is one armed conflict that took place between 1939 and 1945, and directly or indirectly involved most of the military and economic powers of the time, as well as numerous third world countries. It is considered the most dramatic war in contemporary history due to the number of people involved, the enormous territorial dimensions of the conflict, the amounts of weaponry used, the harrowing historical consequences for humanity. The Second World War took place mainly in three different scenarios: the European and Asian and African continents. Troops from the two opposing sides, not as the Allied and Axis powers, as well from the countries involved voluntarily or by force in conflict that did not distinguish between military forces and civilians, fought against each other. In the context of this war, extremely traumatic events for human civilization took place, such as the massive deaths in extermination and forced labor camps of use for the first time in history of nuclear weapons of mass destruction of a civilian population, the Japanese cities are Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Causes of World War II. The terms of the 30 Versailles, the surrender of Germany and its allies at the end of World War I, imposed on them and wholly oppressive unconditional surrender 30, which prevent the withdrawn nation from ever having an army again, wrested control of its African colonies, and imposed an unpayable debt to the victorious countries. The arrest of fascist Adolf Hitler in Germany and Benito Mussolini in Italy mainly took advantage of popular discontent and built extremist nationalist movements, seeking to recover national glory through the militarization of broad social sectors, the establishment of totalitarianism, and expansion of national borders. Consequence of World War II. Near total devastation of Europe, there was extensive and devastating aerial bombardments of the main European cities. First, when the Germans conquered the continent, and then when the Allies liberated it, which resulted in their almost total destruction. This then required large economic investments for their gradual reconstruction, such as so-called Marshall Plan proposed by the United States. Beginning of bipolar war and the end of the conflict, both Allied and Axis European powers were so weakened economically and politically that the leadership of world politics passed to the two new superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, thus initiating the so-called Cold War. Division of Germany. Once Germany was defeated, its territory passed under the control of the Allied countries and the USSR. The country was divided into completely different nations, the German Federal and Republic, with the capitalist system and under American control, and the German Democratic Republic with a communist system and under Soviet administration. Germany would be on fight again in 1991 after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Beginning of World War II. On September 1, 1939, the German army invaded Poland in a bloody attack in which large numbers of soldiers and civilians were killed. In response, the governments of France and the United Kingdom declared war on Germany on September 3 of the same year. This period is known as the Prong War, which ended on May 10, 1914. Thank you for your attention, teacher.